Need more reasons to watch college football? It's time to bang some hats. Here's Chad Withrow's must-see games this weekend.
My God, I can smell it.
Yeah.
I can smell the grass. I can smell the leaves falling.
The brand.
It's here. My goodness, how exciting it is to be alive and in these United States of America on the opening Thursday of college football weekend. I'll get right to it. Game number 10. We're going to go down to the state of Georgia where you can win those tickets to the Alabama-Georgia game. But now I'm going to go to Atlanta, Mercedes-Benz Stadium. That's where Tennessee will be taking on Syracuse. The number 24 ranked Volunteers, a 13.5-point favorite over the Orange, 11 a.m. Central Time kickoff on ABC. Tennessee's defense should be good enough this season and good enough early to help with what will be, get ready, Vols fans, a work in progress on offense. I'm sorry, but you do not lose a starting quarterback post-spring practice and you don't miss a beat. Now, maybe Syracuse, replacing so many players, is going to be porous enough defensively where Tennessee's able to run the ball all over them at will and put up a ton of points in this game. But when they play good defenses, I think it will be a bit of a struggle early on. Now, they can get better and better as the year goes on. The hope for Tennessee is their defense is good enough to carry them in the beginning. Former Notre Dame backup Steve Angeli is the starting quarterback for Syracuse. Here's a fun fact, by the way, about starting quarterbacks in the state of Tennessee. Hutton, you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Ages of college and pro quarterbacks. At Vanderbilt, Diego Pavia is 24 years and 5 months.
Okay.
Tennessee's starting quarterback, Joey Aguilar, 24 years and 3 months. And Memphis starting quarterback, Brendan Lewis, is 23 years and 8 months. Titans rookie Cam Ward, 23 years and 3 months old. The youngest of the major starting quarterbacks in the state of Tennessee. Hutton, your thoughts?
Yeah, and I mean, how old is Anthony Richardson, who just benched?
Still younger than those guys, I think.
Exactly.
It's amazing.
It is. And Richardson, he could use some extra time in college.
I think this is a good, other than just an absolute warm-up game for Tennessee, this is a good start for Joey Aguilar in this Tennessee team.
Let me be clear here. This should be a 1-800-ass whip. Josh Heupel, 1-800-ass whip. This is what this game should be. Syracuse is not good.
And I think Tennessee's defense is good.
I agree.
I think they got a chance to be really good on that side of the ball. Game number 9 this week, Georgia Tech at Colorado. The Ramblin' Wreck, a 4.5-point favorite in this game. Friday night kickoff, 8 o'clock Eastern time on ESPN. Caden Salter in at quarterback, the Liberty transfer for Colorado. Julian Lewis, highly touted freshman, is his backup. Big expectations for Haynes King and this Georgia Tech offense. First back-to-back winning seasons for Georgia Tech in the last decade under Brent Key. This is the first ever matchup between these two programs, Georgia Tech and Colorado. A little bit of history between these two. Both of them claimed the 1990 national title. They shared it. Georgia Tech and Colorado both national champions in 1990. Both schools will claim it because different services voted for them, and now we get to see this game on the field, Hut.
Georgia Tech averaged 40 more yards per offensive output last year than Colorado. That surprised me. Back-to-back bowl appearances, as Chad mentioned, they should be taking another step forward, like an 8 or 9 win season here. This is not a good matchup for Coach Prime, introducing us to new quarterback look and new superstars on offense. I lean Georgia Tech and the Rambling Wreck.
Jerry Jones will be watching his future coach and Coach Prime coach this game on Friday night. Game number 8. Another highly touted offseason coach. Something Coach Prime knows a lot about. TCU at North Carolina. TCU a 3-point favorite. This game Monday night, Labor Day night, 8 o'clock Eastern time on ESPN. Sonny Dykes knows a thing or two about this matchup. But last time that he went up against the biggest talk of the offseason in Coach Prime in Colorado, he got defeated in a big upset for Colorado. So he's trying to improve upon that last outing against this season's most talked about offseason coach. Not only has North Carolina been busy trying to get trademarks for things like Gold Digger with Jordan Hudson and Bill Belichick, really expanding upon the brand, they've expanded upon their football brand because 13 of their 22 starters are incoming transfers this year, including Gio Lopez coming over for South Alabama. Sonny Dykes' offense, really good. Josh Hoover, one of the best quarterbacks in the country. This is going to be a tall task for North Carolina, but Hutton, they're in Chapel Bill for this game, which is a big advantage.
I was talking with someone who knows TCU Frogs football, and they told me in a recent trip down to Texas that not really sure what they have football-wise this year. Like what type of expectations will be met or, maybe oversold. That to me leans UNC in Chapel Bill.
Chapel Bill could have a day and night like Coach Prime did in his first game.
Yep.
Game number 7 as we roll along. Nebraska taking on Cincinnati. The Huskers, a 6.5-point favorite. This game played tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern time, or 9 o'clock Eastern time, actually, 8 o'clock Central, Hutton Special on ESPN. Scott Satterfield at Cincinnati, he's in trouble. You want to talk about coaches on the hot seat? He is 8-16 after 2 seasons as the Bearcats coach. He's got a good quarterback, Brendan Sorsby, a dual threat guy, and he's going to go up against a Nebraska defense that returns only 4 starters from a really good unit a year ago. Nebraska also breaking in a new defensive coordinator. These 2 teams combined for 39 turnovers a year ago, and they were 3-9 in one-score games. So you could make the argument both pretty good last year and terrible luck in one-score games. But Nebraska fans know all about terrible luck in one-score games. It's been their identity for the past 10 to 15 years. It was their identity again last season. Matt Rule trying to change everything about this program. Dylan Raiola looked better under Dana Holgerson's leadership. Hutton, I think that continues with Raiola and Holgerson, and I like the Huskers.
I'm picking the coach paired with the quarterback here, and that's why I'm going Nebraska.
Game number 6, Virginia Tech against South Carolina. This is the second game in Atlanta this weekend, the first being Tennessee and Syracuse. This game played Sunday, 2 o'clock Central Time on ESPN. The Gamecocks, an 8-point favorite in this game. Sneaky best quarterback matchup of the weekend, possibly. Kyron Drones for Virginia Tech versus Lenora Sellers for South Carolina. Again, this may be the best QB matchup all weekend. We're going to get to a more high-profile one a little bit later in this countdown. Virginia Tech's defense is good, but not good enough to stop Sellers and Nick Harbor. I think South Carolina gets off to a good start. Big season, though, for Brent Pry at Virginia Tech.
That and, new play caller as well, right?
Yep.
For South Carolina, new faces on defense. Lenore Sellers, if you want to sell me on the Heisman hype, this is a game you go out and dominate. And you're right, Drones is a very capable quarterback, too, that no one's discussing.
Let's get into our top 5, shall we? Number 5.
Yes.
Number 8, Alabama Crimson Tide, a 13.5-point favorite in Tallahassee against Florida State, where the great Bobby Bowden once said, and I quote, "I never, ever in my 35 years of head coaching have ever been accused of foul play." Said that about Steve Spurrier, but we all know FSU stands for Free Shoes University.
Yes, we do.
But Alabama also notoriously one of the cheatingest programs in all of college football as well.
Don't you say that to Nick Saban.
No. Shane Gillis said it to him. He didn't like that. He certainly would not like me saying that, but it's true. A lot of programs cheated over the years. These two certainly know a thing or two about it. They're going to meet up 3:30 Eastern Time, 2:30 Central on ABC. Tommy Castellanos. Yeah, he's not going by Thomas anymore. He's going by Tommy Castellanos because when you throw shade at Alabama in the offseason and say, and I quote, Alabama doesn't have Nick Saban to save them against us, I just don't see them stopping me. Well, buddy, the bill has come due, my friend. You talked a lot of shit this offseason, and Alabama's defense is ready. Tommy Castellanos, the same guy who quit on Bill O'Brien and his Boston College teammates midseason a year ago, but a talented player. For Florida State, Gus Malzahn in as offensive coordinator for the Noles. Ryan Grubb in to call plays for Alabama. New quarterback for the Tide in Ty Simpson. Tough road environment. But Hutton, this feels like a game where Alabama's exquisite offensive line should be able to get a lot of rushing yards for those Alabama backs.
An elite defense.
Yes.
Alabama has a thoroughbred defense. And I'm taking the quarterback who hasn't quit. The guy who has waited his turn in Ty Simpson in this matchup.
Hell yes.
We may see Castellanos quit for a second time.
Good, yeah. He may end up at App State at the end of all this. Who knows? Third school.
UCLA, maybe.
Yeah, UCLA will take it. I'm excited about this matchup, though. And also, you mentioned great defense for Alabama and a pissed-off defense after what Castellanos had to say. Game number 4, Auburn, a 2.5-point favorite at Baylor, taking on the Bears. 8 o'clock Eastern time kickoff Friday night on Fox, which you can now see on YouTube TV because they came to a temporary agreement. Good news for Hutton and I as YouTube TV subscribers. Baylor's quarterback Sawyer Robertson, the top returning quarterback in America in quarterback rating. Passed for over 3,000 yards and 28 touchdowns a year ago. That's despite not taking over until Big 12 play last year. Jackson Arnold, very different story. A year ago at Oklahoma. He was not good at all, but now he's got Cam Coleman. He's got Eric Singleton. He's got one of the best wide receiver rooms in the country, and he's going up against a secondary with major concerns.
Yep.
They were really bad a year ago. They've got a starter who's out in this game, so there's going to be an opportunity for those receivers and Jackson Arnold to get off to a good start. Baylor running back Bryson Washington, a key to this one, he's going to need to have a good day. Baylor probably hoping for a shootout in this one that they can win at home. Hutton, this is a huge game for Hugh Freeze in game number 1.
And a huge game for their kickers. Can Auburn's kicking group, can they make more than 52% of their kicks? If so, they're winning this game, and they should. They're the more talented team. Hugh Freeze, call the plays, please.
I think
call every play.
As we go to not just first down, you're saying?
Not just fourth
not a second down, third down call. Game number 3, Notre Dame at Miami. Colin's pants just tightened over there as he heard the Fighting Irish. He started hearing the fight song in his head as he heard that. Number 6, Notre Dame, a 3.5-point road favorite against Miami. Hard Rock Stadium, 7:30 Eastern time start Sunday night on ABC. C.J. Carr has never thrown a single pass in college football, okay? Now he's got to go to Miami and perform in what is going to be a raucous atmosphere. I do not think Miami Hurricanes football in raucous atmosphere. But Brian Kelly and Ian Book, who were a part of the game in 2017 where Notre Dame lost 41-8, said it was as loud as their visit to Georgia when they played. That's how wild it was when Miami gets ready for Notre Dame. You know how you negate a great crowd? You run the damn football. And that's what Notre Dame can do. They got a great offensive line. They've got maybe the best running back in the country in Jeremiah Love. Carson Beck is going to lead the way for Miami. Can he put up Cam Ward-type numbers for the Hurricanes? Shannon Dawson, the offensive coordinator for the Hurricanes, his system, it's a proven success. They were number 1 in both points a year ago and yards. Can they come close to that production this year under Carson Beck? If they can do so, they got a chance to pull the mild upset against the Fighting Irish in game number 1.
This goes against my rule. There should be a ban on any games in Miami or South Florida until late September. This game will have a lightning delay. I don't even know the weather. This game will have a lightning delay.
And we'll get a weather update from Armando Salguero coming up here momentarily also. Game number 2, number 9 LSU at number 4 Clemson. The Clemson Tigers, a 3.5-point favorite. 7:30 Eastern time kickoff on ESPN. 3 names to remember: T.J. Moore, Bryant Wesco, Antonio Williams. Probably the best 3 receivers in America on one team. That's who Cade Klubnik is throwing to this year. So much talk about LSU's 5-game losing streak in season openers, but Clemson lost to Georgia and Duke in the last 2 openers by a combined score of 62-10. Clemson returning 4 of their 5 starters in the offensive line. Garrett Nussmeier can and will need to be great on the road for LSU to get this win. And Hutton, it's a big one for Brian Kelly.
It's huge. It's huge. And Nussmeier's the quarterback that can get it done with his experience. Clemson's defense also legit. But let's talk about legit defense, shall we?
Legit. Game number 1. No disguising it. Big noon kickoff. Fox, number 1. Texas Longhorns in Columbus to take on Tyler Castles. Number 3, Ohio State Buckeyes. The Bucks, a 1.5-point favorite in this game. Second matchup in AP history, pitting 2 top 3 teams in a season opener. Ohio State beat Texas 28-14, a game that was closer than that. in a national semi, evening the all-time series at 2-2. But here comes Arch Manning. Keep in mind that both of his starts a year ago came against teams that went a combined 7-17. None of Arch Manning's 95 career pass attempts have come in away stadiums. He will throw his first ever on Saturday in the shoe against number 3 and defending national champion Ohio State. On the flip side, Julian Sayin has thrown a total of 12 passes in college football. In 2024, Texas' secondary was best in the nation, 22 INTs. They allowed only 5.7 yards per attempt, and they held Jeremiah Smith to 1 catch for 3 yards. A year ago in that semi, OSU also lost 14 players to the NFL draft. Big opportunity for Texas to notch a huge victory for both teams in this game, and the atmosphere is going to be insane.
The first time in the history of the AP poll that the number 1 team coming into the season is an underdog in week 1 as they kick off their schedule. First time we've seen this.
And I also think there's going to be more games like this now that the SEC is moving to a 9th conference game and a mandated power conference game on the outside of that. I think we start to see more and more matchups like this in week 1.
This game was scheduled prior to Texas entering the SEC. Michigan and A&M scheduled, or Oklahoma, excuse me. They booked their games prior to entering the SEC. Now everyone else is following suit. Round of applause, Chad Withrow. Well done.
Ladies and gentlemen, none of the work was done by me. It was done by college football itself, because that is a hell of a week 1 top 10.
That is a great top 10.
That was tough to find, games 11, 12, and 13. Tough to make the cut.
Yeah.
This is a great opening weekend of college football. And as we will find out in tomorrow's Big Game Beth game of the week, there's also some really terrible games out there that I'll get to.